Okay, let's dive right into this. Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're tackling one of the absolute most fascinating challenges in all of computer science. We're going to look at exactly how artificial intelligence takes messy human language and transforms it into structured math. Specifically, we'll be breaking down the high-level representation approaches used in text mining. Think of it as a journey, right? We're going from really rigid, basic word counting all the way up to that deep contextual understanding that powers the AI tools we use every single day.
It really all starts with a seemingly simple question. How do algorithms actually read? I mean, when you or I look at a sentence, we instantly pick up on the nuance, the tone, the context, the underlying meaning. Language is incredibly abstract and, let's be honest, quite messy. But a machine? A machine literally just sees a string of binary data. So how do we bridge that massive gap? How do we take a completely mathematical system and teach it to understand the chaotic beauty of human language?
To answer that, we'll walk through 5 clear steps. Number 1, the raw text problem. Number 2, vector space and bag of words. Number 3, LSA and topic modeling. Number 4, dense contextual embeddings. And finally, number 5, networks and knowledge graphs. Let's jump right into the first one and see how this all builds.
Section 1, the raw text problem. Moving from text strings to math. This right here is the core barrier every single text mining algorithm faces right out of the gate.
So here's the golden rule of natural language processing. Text mining algorithms absolutely cannot process raw text strings directly. It is literally impossible for them. If you hand a machine a raw sentence, it's basically like handing a human a book written in an entirely alien language with absolutely no dictionary. None. To make language computable, the text absolutely has to be translated into structured mathematical representations. Simply put, we have to turn words into numbers.
Section 2, vector space and bag of words. So let's look at the earliest mathematical models designed to actually solve this crazy translation problem. This early approach is incredibly, kind of literal. It's known as the vector space model, or sometimes you'll hear it called bag of words. Imagine trying to represent an entire document as a single coordinate point in this massively high-dimensional space. In this model, every single unique word in your vocabulary gets its very own distinct dimension. And these dimensions, they're given a weight, typically using a formula called TF-IDF, which mathematically scores just how important a specific word is to that particular document. But of course, there's a major catch. So the crucial point here is that the vector space model is entirely blind to context. It completely ignores word order, it ignores syntax, it ignores the semantics, the whole shebang. Because every unique word gets its own completely separate dimension, synonyms become a massive, massive problem. To the algorithm, the word dog and the word canine map to completely different dimensions. Mathematically, this results in what we call orthogonal vectors, which is just a fancy way of saying the system thinks dog and canine are 100% unrelated. It literally cannot see that they mean the exact same thing.
So, how do we fix that synonym problem? That brings us to Section 3, LSA and topic modeling. This is exactly where we start finding hidden meanings.
Okay, so to solve that glaring issue where dog and canine are treated like total strangers, engineers came up with latent semantic analysis, or LSA. Using a pretty clever technique called singular value decomposition, LSA maps terms and documents down into a much smaller, what we call latent semantic space. And this brilliantly resolves the synonym issue by aligning words that naturally share contexts. Now, right alongside LSA, we have topic modeling, specifically latent Dirichlet allocation, or LDA for short. And unlike those spatial dimensions we just talked about, LDA is probabilistic. It represents documents as mixtures of topics and then topics as mixtures of words. It's honestly just an incredibly powerful way to mathematically cluster the themes of a document.
Moving on to Section 4, dense contextual embeddings. Now this is where we step right into the state-of-the-art AI that is actually powering the tools we use today.
Enter dense contextual embeddings, a real game changer. Instead of giving every single word its own isolated dimension in some massive, sparse, mostly empty matrix, we use deep learning models. You've probably heard of the famous ones, right? Word2Vec, Glove, BERT. What these models do is map words, or even entire sentences, into continuous, dense vectors. These usually range anywhere from 300 to 768 dimensions. By compressing language down into this specific, continuous vector space, the AI finally begins to capture true, context-dependent meanings. It literally places words that have similar meanings physically close together in this mathematical space.
And this brilliantly illustrates exactly why these dense embeddings are so incredibly revolutionary. The vector for king minus the vector for man plus the vector for woman mathematically equals a vector that is approximately the vector for queen. I mean, let that sink in for a second. The AI is doing literal spatial arithmetic with human concepts. It actually understands the semantic relationship of gender and royalty simply through mathematical distance. This right here, this is the exact moment AI stopped just counting words and started actually calculating their underlying concepts.
But we still need a reliable way to process hard facts. So, Section 5, Networks and Knowledge Graphs. Let's see how algorithms handle exact logic.
You see, sometimes probability and spatial closeness just aren't enough. If an algorithm needs to know a cold hard fact, we turn to semantic networks and knowledge graphs. In this kind of representation, text is structured as a literal network. You have nodes which represent entities. Think of a person named John or a massive company like Google. And then connecting them, you have edges, which represent the exact relations between those entities, like works for. By representing text this way, the algorithm actually preserves the exact syntactic semantic relationships. It knows definitively that John works for Google. And that allows these systems to run really complex, precise logical queries rather than just sort of guessing based on probabilities.
So look at where we are. We've gone from algorithms blindly counting individual words all the way to deep learning models literally doing semantic algebra and networks plotting out exact human relationships. It is just a breathtaking evolution of translating text into math. But as these mathematical representations become increasingly sophisticated, dense, and interconnected, it leaves us with a pretty profound question to ponder. What happens when algorithms eventually understand the nuance of our language better than we do? Well, thanks for joining me on this explainer. I really hope this helped you visualize exactly how machines are learning to read. Keep exploring,